Welcome everyone to episode 238 of the HurricaneKaz podcast. I'm your host, Caleb Peng. I'm joined with Twastell, who is back after a couple of weeks. However, we have lost Steve and Kaz. Kaz is headed to Merida, and Steve, I think, I'm not exactly sure what he's busy on, but I know he has the Auckland tournament this upcoming weekend, so might be busy with some of those things. But it'll just be me and Tristan. How are you doing today?
Not too bad.
All right. We just had our first tournament of the 2026 calendar year. If you watched it, then you probably saw me there at some point. But yeah, so we'll definitely recap that. A pretty exciting tournament, actually, to kick off not only the calendar year, but the Precious Pass meta. But before we talk all about that, let's actually go into some of our events, and then we'll talk about Championship Series. But first one is a Rocket Takeover, and that's always important. It is this upcoming weekend. However, the problem is it's just this upcoming weekend. It's Friday the 23rd at midnight to Sunday the 25th at 8 p.m.
Yeah, this is like one of the shortest Rocket Takeovers we've ever had.
It's probably tied for the shortest. Yeah, I think we've had other ones that are just one weekend long, but
I hate this.
This actually might be even shorter than that because, well, no, sometimes they end directly at midnight. This one ends at 8 p.m. actually, so before even midnight. So it's not even a full 2 days.
Yeah, I really don't like this, if I'm being honest. I just don't know why it needs to be so short. When these Rocket Takeovers happen anyways, it's frustrating because sometimes you don't even get all the new shadows anyways, even if it's a week-long takeover, or maybe you get one or two of each, but they're all pretty bad, right? I already find it frustrating the fact that it's there's new shadows, and then it's you have to TM them by the end of the event, and it's anything you get after the event, then you're stuck waiting months to TM again. I already think that's not a good or fun mechanic, and then when you shorten the takeover by so much on top of that, it's unless you're grinding like crazy, how are you possibly supposed to get whatever? And I don't think we even know what the new shadows. Oh, actually we do, just kidding.
So yeah, so there's Shadow Chespin, Fennekin, and Froakie for the leaders, Sierra, Cliff, and Arlo. And that's first.
Wait. Is it for the leaders?
Yeah,
or
for
is
the
it
leaders.
Two different things?
Shadow Pokemon, their leaders are. Oh, it's word of. Okay, let me just read word for word, and you all can decide for yourselves. I mean, I'm sure by the time you hear this, maybe some of you already know. Team Go Rocket Grunts and their leaders, Sierra, Cliff, and Arlo, are using different Shadow Pokemon. Team Go Rocket has turned the following Pokemon into Shadow Pokemon. Defeat Team Go Rocket Grunts to save them. So Shadow Chespin, Fennekin, and Froakie.
Yeah,
the way they word that, it does seem like they are just new Shadow Pokemon in Grunts and not the leaders.
Yeah, because it's saying the leaders have different. I think it's just saying Sierra, Cliff, and Arlo aren't gonna have what is it, Wobbuffet, Larvitar, and the Milotic thingy, Feebas anymore. Is my interpretation of the first sentence. And then because it says Team Go Rocket has also turned the following Pokemon into Shadow Pokemon, and then it mentions Grunts. So I'm pretty sure Chespin, Fennekin, and Froakie are gonna be in Grunts. And then we don't know what the leader Pokemon are gonna be. Because they never announce what the leader Pokemon are going to be.
That's true. It's just weird because usually when they have three new starter Pokemon with shadows, it's in the leaders. But the way they word it does.
I don't think we've ever had them in the leaders first for
what do you
starters.
Mean? As shiny, the Charmander, Squirtle, Bulbasaur, or that was the main one I remember. I don't know if they did it for Gen 2 or Gen 3.
Wait, you're saying their debut was in the leaders as shadows? I don't think so. We had them in regular Grunts first, and then they went to the leaders later.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, you never know, right? But yeah, I guess you are probably right that it's they could always switch it up on us. But yeah, I think you're right. It is just in the Grunts.
And because the thing too is usually they never announce what the new leader Pokemon are going to be, because there's been a few times where there was actually a new Shadow Pokemon in the leaders, and we didn't know till the event started because it wasn't announced.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that seems like it.
So yeah, I guess there are only 3 new shadows to chase, so at least it's not as big of because sometimes there's like 6 new shadows or something, and so
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
hard to
yeah.
get them all. So I guess with 3, it's not as bad.
I think that's
But
what threw me off too, because usually they have a lot more. But you're right. I think it's just these are the only three, and these are the only three, and then we have three new ones in the leaders that probably aren't new Pokemon debut for Shadow, but they'll be new like shiny eligibility potentially.
I mean, we don't even know if they're new to the leaders, right? It just says they're using different
True,
shadow
true, true. Yeah,
Pokemon.
yeah.
So
I mean,
for
yeah,
all
because
we
they've
know,
recycled some.
Sierra could have like Lapras back or something. Like I don't know.
I would not complain about that one. Lapras and Sableye, those two I would be fine with if they came back. But
Yeah, that would actually be really nice. Yeah. So what would you hope to see in the leaders? I guess Sableye, Lapras, and maybe one
um,
other.
maybe like I'd be okay with Dino and like Swablu
Ooh, Swablu would be
because
interesting. What
Swablu
about
would be interesting, right?
Onyx?
Onyx would be good too. There's definitely some
Especially,
contenders. Yeah,
I know that like Pocket has been talking about how he like still doesn't have like a
Shadow
Shadow
Steel.
Steelix,
Yeah.
and I don't think it's even been in rotation in a while. So like
Yep.
bringing it back and also like shiny Shadow Steelix would actually be pretty fun, like
We
pretty
haven't
fun and
had
pretty
that one
cool.
either. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that could be a pretty good one. Um, uh, shoot, I keep reading the pre-evolutions, the Fortress one.
Oh,
Um,
what is Fortress Pre-Evolution? I'm blanking too. Uh, I don't even know what it looks like right now. What does it even look? I'm so. Why am I blanking on this so hard? Oh, wait. Oh, Pinecone. Pinecone.
Pineco, yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
That's the
Pinecone
one.
could be a
Yeah,
good one. Wait,
I think
we. Oh yeah, we have had Shadow. Yeah, for that one.
have we had that one as a shiny? I think we have. Maybe I
But
can't
yeah, but they
remember
could
now.
reuse them even if
Right,
that's the
yeah,
case. But I
and
actually
I
don't
feel like
remember.
that. Yeah, I mean, it's not like I feel like that's like I don't know. I guess maybe Fortress has been more common as a non-shadow recently, but like the shadow definitely has merit too, and like the shiny's pretty cool as well.
Oh
So
yeah, you have. Yeah, there is. There's Shiny Shadow for Pinecone already. But I feel like we haven't had Pinecone in Rockets in a long time because I don't remember the last time I saw one.
yeah, you might be right.
But I don't know if it's even that PP relevant because it's been out, but like no one ever uses it, right? Everyone uses the non shadow for whatever reason. So
It's probably it's not exclusively a thing, but it seems like because like it's similar with like Cradilly, right? Which is like a shadow exists, but I've almost never seen anyone use the shadow. Um, I think it's just like because it's often better as like a debuffing mon to just have more bulk
mhm.
because then it just sort of like snowballs that way, right? Because if you have more bulk, then you theoretically have more HP at the time that you throw your first debuff, and then it sort of just goes from there.
Yeah, I think probably the only exception to that's probably Shadow Drapion, but it's not like only used just for debuff purposes, right?
Right. Well, I mean
Versus
like an
like
attack
guaranteed.
debuff though.
Oh, attack debuff?
Right, like
Yeah, I
you
guess
don't
so.
like you don't really see Shadow Diggers be that much. Obviously, that's not a guaranteed
Sure, sure,
debuff either,
sure.
but like you don't see
Yeah.
like Shadow Diggers be. You don't really see many
What about
Shadow
Shadow
Walk
Kingdra though?
removers.
Back when Octasuka was the preferred moveset.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I guess like that was old Dragon Breath and your Dragon Breath thing. I mean, that's like very niche matter. I do think you're generally right. I think now that I think about it, that's a good point. Actually, I feel like most shadows that do go for debuffs don't go for shadow. Are there other examples? Now that I think about it, yeah, because like the stuff that buff like Annihilate, sure, right, but but it's buffing itself, right? So it makes
Yeah,
sense for it to be
I mean
shadow.
technically, I think Beak
Scizor.
Blast is an opponent debuff, right? Attack debuff.
Yeah, but the
But
thing
like
with that
Toucannon
is
is like
people
hits
don't
so hard.
reliably. You still
Yeah,
pretty much get one shot by most things,
yeah. You're just
anyway.
using
So
Beak Blast because it hits so hard. It's just
yeah,
a
yeah,
good
yeah.
move.
Exactly,
And
exactly.
then like Shadow Abomasnow normally runs Weather Ball, and then
Steelix.
if
Steelix is probably the exception there. Psychic Fangs, Shadow Steelix.
but that's not a attack
Oh, sure,
drop.
sure. It's not a attack team if you're right. Yeah, the defense.
It would have been the only one would
No,
have been
you're
like
right.
Breaking Swipe, like the old Breaking Swipe, I
Yeah,
guess.
but I feel like
Maybe.
people opted for a lot of non-shadow actually that back then too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, like I feel like
I do
that's
think Parma won a
generally
tournament with Breaking
trends.
Swipe, Shadow Steelix, but that was old Breaking Swipe, I guess. But
Yeah. But yeah, I
um,
feel like that's a general trend. Maybe it's not like
no, I
100%
think
true, but it
that's a good
seems
point though. I never thought about it like that, but You're kind of right.
Oh, you know what I would love to see in leaders actually?
What?
Galarian Wheezing.
Oh yes, that would be dope actually. Because I've only seen one, and that's it. And it's like terrible. So like I can't even use for Ultra League because the attack and all the stats are so low that it doesn't power up. But that would be a good one. It's not super meta relevant right now, but I think it would be good to have because in case it becomes more relevant later. It always has like some niche play here or there. Oh, you know your theory about the debuff attack thing? I think this is the best thing to support it. Shadow Obama Snow. Because you
Yeah,
can
that's
run
what I was
Icy Wind with
saying.
it, but everyone runs Weather Ball with the Shadow variant, and they run Icy Wind typically with the non-Shadow variants, right?
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
you're going for debuffs because it's a little bit bulkier. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think yeah,
Interesting analysis.
yeah, I think my like probably dream trio for leaders would be like Lapras, Sableye, Galarian Weezing, or swap one of those out for either like an Inkay or um let's see, Inkay, Mankey, or uh Scyther. Like one of those
Yeah.
six. I would love to see some combo of those six would be cool.
Okay. The only example I can think of consistently that used to use Shadow, not always, but a lot of times over the non-Shadow, but still as attack debuffer is Shadow Wishcash and Shadow Poliwrath. Back when Scald was better.
Oh, that's fair.
But that's about it. That's about it. Maybe Shadow Tentacle a little bit here there, but again, like Skull's not really that reliable in debuffing anymore. But and I don't know if Shadow Tentacle necessarily is better than non-Shadow. But
Yeah,
okay.
that's fair.
But anyway, good analysis though. I do think that's fairly true. And then we have Shadow Incarnate Form Thunderous, which is pretty useless in almost every spec, PVE and
Yeah,
PvP. But
I'm definitely gonna be like banking this
yes,
special research instead. Don't want to waste any
yeah.
freaking
So
radars on this.
here, for those that don't know, we've mentioned it before, but for maybe if you forgot or you haven't heard those episodes. So here's how you bank a super rocket radar, right? Because you get only one per takeover event. And some people are like, oh, how do you have so much bank for Shadow Giratina, right? When that comes out, like something really good comes out. So what you do is back in the day, you used to be able to save the super rocket radar, but now you can't. So what you do is you don't actually get to the super rocket radar. When they come out with the Precious Pals takeover, special
Special
research where
research,
you get
whatever it's called. Yeah,
whatever it'll be called.
you have to
Don't
stay in
complete the first
yeah,
page.
you have to. Well, yeah, you have to stay on the first page. You
Yeah.
can't. You if you advance to like the next page,
Hmm.
then you basically have to finish it
You have to finish.
because
Yeah.
I don't know why it's made this way, but it's like basically you either have to be on the first page or finish one of the like rocket like researches to get the next one.
Yeah.
So it's like if you went to page 2 of this one, then the only way to get the research from the next event, the next time there's a takeover, would be you would have to finish it, and to finish it, you have to like beat Giovanni, which means you would have to like use your radar. So yeah, you have to stay on the first page, and then you can basically just stack up a bunch of these shadow researches that are all on the first page. And then when something good like a Shadow Giratina comes around, then you can progress through them and get the radars from that.
Exactly. So let's say hypothetically, if you do it wrong, right, and you actually get to the second page and you're still trying to make it work, it's not going to work on the next GBL season where they have the next takeover, but you won't lose the next one when it comes out. What you'll have to do is you'll have to finish this Precious Pals takeover, like 3 months from now when you accidentally went through the first page, and then you get the next one. But
The
again,
problem
like
is that
you won't be
the
able to save it.
next
You
one
have to
is
get the Thunderous, right?
right, and the next one is probably going to be Landorus because I think we've had Shadow. This is Shadow Thunderous, and before we had Shadow uh Tornadus, I believe.
I guess there's
So
not the end of the world if you mess it up. Let's say like this time, and if it's not tornadoes next time, right? So let's say like if you mess it up, you go past page one, you have to complete it before next one. You could also wait the couple months because by next, if you don't want Thunderous, and hypothetically, what if it's Giratina Ultra next month, right? It probably won't be, but if it
right,
is, then next month
right.
you can
I'm
still
saying
claim this
it'll
one, right?
probably be Landorus
Yeah, it
based on
probably
the
will be. Yeah,
trend.
it
So,
probably will be. So,
but like if you
um,
mess it up on the Landorus one, then maybe you'd get lucky, and the next one would be like I don't know, like a Shadow Virizion or something.
yeah. So anyway, uh, again, probably worth saving. So banking your Shadow Radar. So what my page looks like, I claimed a lot of them for the Shadow Giratina, so it's not that many. But what it should look like, it should be like 1 out of 6 or whatever on your takeover or special research, what should be like the banner. Like, don't you should not say 2 at any point. I just minimize it so I don't accidentally claim the reward, but I also don't even claim any the individual reward in case I like misclick, right? Because you can easily misclick the claim reward and proceed to the next page.
Yep,
So
yep.
yeah, so it's good way to kind of avoid that. It's just don't claim anything.
Well,
But if you
and then the one other way to have an extra rocket radar banked right now is the last rocket event. I think we mentioned this. There was a paid research, like paid timed research that came with a super rocket radar.
okay,
So I do have one radar in my storage, and I have the last special research not started yet.
yeah, if you have any that's like already stored in your storage, and those are fine, right? Like
Yeah,
obviously you can use those, but
it's
generally speaking, these days that's not really going to be the case.
yeah, it's interesting though because this news article doesn't mention any sort of paid timed research this time, and like there was one last Rocket Takeover, and also most events these days have some sort of paid time research. So I'm surprised there's not one. I guess we'll just have to keep our eyes peeled if they just didn't announce it or if it just doesn't exist.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's the bulk of the event. Then obviously you have, teaming away frustration during the event, more frequent rocket at balloons and stops. And then they have also the bonus that they've been doing during these takeovers, which is Pokemon caught via 1-star and 3-star Shadow Raids during the event will have a wider variance of their stats, which basically means, I think last time it might have been a 0 floor. Basically, it means you actually have a chance of getting good PvP IVs from Shadow Raids.
hmm
Um, and they haven't announced what the Shadow Raids are going to be either. Um, Man, this art announcement is like so little on details.
there's not much.
Um,
There's not much.
but yeah, keep an eye on what's in the 1 and 3-star Shadow Raids because, like, again, if there's something like a Galarian Wheezing in the Shadow Raids, that's another way that you could get good IVs.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, definitely. Speaking of shadows, so the next event we're covering is technically the same exact weekend. It
and
is the
wait,
debut
one
of
last question: do you
yeah
know if any of these shadows are going to be very good? Um,
the like
the
what do you
new
call it,
ones,
Greninja or
yeah.
Chestnut and stuff. I read somewhere that Shadow Chestnut would be a good like raid attacker, but for PvP purposes,
I
I'm
know.
trying to think.
I was looking at Greninja. It looks like
Greninja
a
could be
side.
one that's
I
good.
was looking at it. It was like a side grade, at least in Great League. I didn't check like Ultra, but for Great League, it was like had similar win rates to the non-shadow. It was just like there was different trade-offs where like there were certain matchups where it was probably able to take things out in one less charge move, so it was
hmm
winning those. But then other matchups where the lack of bulk meant it was probably fainting before getting to a charge move. So like it'll be interesting to see like how that plays out. Like it's already so squishy, but the shadow will definitely have a lot of firepower. That's probably the best one to hunt. Again, I don't know if it'll be better than like end up being better than the non-shadow or not, but that's probably the biggest one to hunt, anyways.
Yeah, I don't. I think Chestnut actually might have a little bit more play in a way because you could potentially maybe like Vine Whip a few things down, or the superpower of Friends Playing hits just a little bit harder for neutral or super effective. Greninja's a weird one because Water Shuriken doesn't really do much damage, right? It's an energy
Yeah,
generating move. It's not like Shadow Scizor or Shadow Annihilate with the counter or the Bullet Punch where the damage actually ramps up in some ways. And like, I'm not saying like Chestnut's anywhere close to those two either. It just seemed like Chestnut, like the Friends Play and superpower like damage could be pretty crucial. Whereas Hydro Cannon, I don't like it does a lot of damage, but I don't know if the shadow version of it will like necessarily allow you to just throw one Hydro Cannon over needing to throw two moves, right? It seems unlikely that damage will be that consequential in a lot of situations.
yeah. It
Um,
just depends because like there's some matchups for Greninja already. It's been a minute since I played it last, but there's definitely some matchups where it's like you throw a Hydro Cannon plus like the Water Shurikens you've done, and it's like the opposing Pokemon is like 80 or 90% like down, but then you still
mhm,
have to throw like another Night Slash because you can't Water Shuriken them
right,
down.
right.
And so some of those matchups might now flip into like now the like you're able to, just with Water Shurikens and maybe one move able to knock them out. So that's what I was saying. Like it seemed like there's some, trade-offs back and forth where some matchups the extra damage helps, but other matchups you get worse because you just don't get to as many charge moves. So
Yeah. I don't know if and Fennekin is like super unlikely, right? Because that's
not good
Delphox is just
anyways.
not really relevant in
Yeah.
anything. But um, I think these will probably be around for a little bit. But yeah, just hunt down the prioritize the what do you call it, the Greninja and the
Yeah, the
Chesmon.
Froakie, yeah.
Yeah, the Froakie and the Chessman. But anyway,
And
so
Shadow Raikou.
Shadow Raikou is making his debut into Pokemon Go, and I don't really think it's much that useful for PvP purposes. Maybe for PvE, but
Well, we've had it before.
oh, we
It's just
have.
yeah.
Oh, well, if that's the case, then why are we doing this? Because it's a raid day. It's just Saturday from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. the 24th. Anyway, 5 additional raid passes, increased chance of encountering shiny
Yeah,
Raikou during raids.
we've even had Shadow Raikou in raids before. Because I just checked my
And I don't get it.
inventory. Yeah.
Anyway, a short and not so sweet event, but okay. Well, that's pretty much the
I know
weekend.
some people have enjoyed Shadow Raikou in Ultra League, but that's
Actually, I
really
did use Shadow Raikou in the Holiday Cup. In I think it was in Great League that I used it. I forgot which one Holiday Cup it was. I think it was a Great League one. Maybe it was an Ultra League one actually. No, it was the Ultra League one. It was the one that you recommended. The double
yeah.
electric. Yeah, actually, that was pretty fun.
Yeah, because I'll say the ones in raids won't fit in Great League, so it
Yeah.
would basically only be for like Ultra League or raiding purposes.
Yeah,
Um,
I did play that a decent amount that weekend. Had fun with it. So, but yeah, niche setting, right? That you would potentially use it for. But
yeah, but yeah, and that's just like all your standard raid day bonuses, anyways. Increased remote raid limit to 20. There's a ticket with like the increased chance of rare candy XL from doing raids and all that sort of stuff. Pretty standard at this point.
mhm, yeah. Okay. Well, that's pretty much going to do it for the Rocket weekend. A little bit underwhelming at times, but at least use the event to TM stuff off and maybe get yourself some of the new shadows just in case they become relevant. And we have Into the Depths event, and this is from the 27th of January to February 1st. So a little under a week, but we do have the debut of a new Pokemon, Glimmet, the Orb Pokemon, and I don't think it's relevant for much, right? But the event bonus is 3 times XP for
No, it's
completing
not.
routes, which again, if you love routes, sure. And I don't know how much XP do you get from completing route to begin with.
I have no idea. I could tell
Okay.
you, I've only completed like 4 routes ever. Um, I'm literally just stuck on level 71 because I don't know when the heck I'm gonna do routes 7 days in a row.
Yeah. And one hatch, half egg distance is also the part of the bonus, which I think does synergize pretty well with the route. So I will say, like, at least you could have some more eggs potentially while you're doing your routes if you are trying to do that. So to get Glimmets, your chance to encounter Glimmet from routes, field research, free time research, and paid time research is where you get Glimmet. So you don't have to do the routes to get Glimmets, but there are a chance
The
that they come out.
routes are the only way to get like wild spawns, it sounds like.
That is true. Yeah. So if you want like better PvP IVs, that could be the case.
I think this thing has evolution, right?
Does it?
I think it's like Glamora or something, I thought.
Oh, maybe. The question is it relevant for PvP? I don't think so, right? Because a lot of
No,
people have been raving
it's
about it.
pretty not great. Yeah, so
Limits.
Glimora, which is like the evolution, um,
Oh, that
it
stat
looks
product is pretty
like
bad.
yeah, it's got like mostly only rock moves to begin with. Rock throw smack or predicted anyways. Rock throw smackdown, power gem, meteor beam, sludge wave, and dazzle and gleam. So like not a very good move set. And then yeah, it's like super squishy.
Okay, so I got a comparison for you all. It's almost exactly the same stat product as Greninja.
That's what I was
So
about to
a
say.
little
Yeah,
bit less attack, a little bit more defense, exactly the same amount of HP. Rank 1 to rank 1.
yeah, it's like
So
basically pretty similar to Greninja with rock poison typing actually, and
yeah,
like a pretty bad move set.
it's like that Ultra Beast. What was it? What's that one called?
Uh,
You know what I'm talking about, right? The
yeah.
squid looking one.
Nihilego.
Nihilego, yeah. So only fast attacks are Rock Throw and Smackdown. Charge attacks, Dazzling Gleam, Meteor Beam, Power Gem, Sludge Wave. Yeah, these moves are going to take forever to get to with Smackdown and Rock Throw.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's so squishy and also being double weak to ground, that's double weak to Mud Slap. Like, this is just not really the play.
I mean, I think obviously things that are double weak to ground, like Bastion, whatever, is fine, but it just doesn't have the bulk to match it. So why would you ever use this, right?
Right, but also, like, if you want to be double weak to ground, yeah, I'd rather run a Bastiodon or a Macargo or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. I think even
A
McCargo is
Colossal, something.
that's true.
Because they have better moves, better stats,
Better bulk.
better typing, yeah.
Well, it's a good deck filler, and you never know. What if they make a good one day? It seems unlikely. They're going to have to give it, like, for Greninja to be relevant, they had to give it Hydro Cannon and Water Shuriken, and it's still
Oh,
not, like, hyper relevant, right?
yeah.
So you need to give it some pretty busted moves.
Right. Well, Anger Ninja also has like pretty good typing, all things considered.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think the poison rock typing is necessarily that bad. There could be some niche usage for it, but not with those stats. Like, I don't think it's even worth looking into.
Yeah, and then let's see the rest of the event. There's some wild spawns. Some of them aren't exciting, but we do have Metatite and Dunsparce. Um, Dunsparce and the Dunsparce both have at least some play in the UIC meta.
Well,
So
it's also
anyone,
good just to get the Meditite too. If you don't have like Metachamp for PP yet or XL1, just get it because once in a while it could sneak up on you on like a limited meta, like the LEIC meta.
yeah, for
I know
sure.
that what's his name? Arrow was running. He was running a Metacham in the he was running it in Toronto.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was. It was on stream too, but he did lose to who did he lose to? Jocko Loco. It was kind of close, but the Dynamic Punch pretty much one shot the Licky after all the Psycho cuts added up. But he had to pretty much shield his Medicham on top of it because they're throwing Shadow Ball in return. So
Right,
like the
that's
cleanest
fair.
of matchups. But I mean, he seemed to believe in it, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Medicham makes a slight comeback. Fighters are kind of hard to use right now, so it's not like you're going to run into a bunch of Annihilate that would just beat you in the head to head, right?
Right, and if they ever like I don't know rebuff counter, rebuff psychic or something, like Magic could be pretty good.
I don't know if I could rebuff counter at this rate though, with how strong Shadow Annihilate is with the
Well,
range fist.
they'd have to like adjust Rage
Yeah,
Fist
yeah, yeah,
too.
yeah.
So
But I think at
I
that
don't
point,
know.
just I don't know. I actually think counters at like an okay point right now. It's not very usable, but it's okay. I don't wouldn't
Yeah,
mind if they rebuff psychic though. That was like never the issue in my mind. So, um, or I just it was a little bit issue when Medicine was at its prime, but they like super nerfed it. So I think
but
they could
like
buff it
yeah,
or just bring it
I don't
back.
know. I do think that like the Ice Punch Dynamic Punch moveset is like pretty good for Magic anyways though.
That's
So
true. That is what Arrow was running too. So
yeah,
yeah,
like even if they rebuff Psychic, like I don't know if you would run that.
yeah,
Hard
that's
to
fair.
say, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Anyway, that's pretty much going to do it for that event. I don't think there's not much else to it. So
yeah.
we'll keep you up posted if that
I guess the paid time research comes with a 2 times hatch candy bonus. Uh, if you're gonna be hatching a bunch of eggs, but like,
doesn't already. Wait, what do you mean? There's already a hatch bonus for that event.
well, yeah, the regular hatch bonus is half egg hatch
Oh,
distance,
hatch candy. Sorry, I
but
missed.
then the paid research comes with double hatch candy. So like,
Mm.
if you're if you're planning on hatching a bunch of eggs, like I guess it could be useful depending on like what kind of eggs you're going for, but like
Yeah. I mean, what's in 7 kilometer eggs is Diglett, Larvitar, Bagon, Dino, Young Goose. Why would you try to hatch those? Right? It seems unlikely. Everything else,
right.
like the
If
only
you're
thing
just
that's worth
going for
hatching
like
is like 10
10Ks or
kilometers.
something,
Yeah.
yeah, because 10Ks have like Corsola and Tink, right?
Yes. Yeah. But well, obviously not everyone PPs, but I think even for the non PPers, I don't know if those 7 kilometer eggs are it. But okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, not every event's gonna be amazing, but that is that one. Let's talk briefly about Go Battle League. Congrats on hitting Legend. I know you hit over 3K mark, which is
Pseudo
pretty
legend.
early in the season because I think there's probably less than like 100 people that have that as of now.
Yeah, I've seen well in the last few days because I hit it on
Probably
I don't
more.
remember like
Yeah.
Friday or something. I've seen a lot more people posting on like
Yeah.
Twitter X and stuff.
I was so
Um,
close. I was about to hit that night too, but I fell just short. I think I lagged out of one game that could have cost me, but I think I still need to win one more to make it. And I was like waving around. I got up to 29.85, and I just like kept like going back and forth. I had like a bunch of sets because I was my flight left, like I had to leave for an airport at 4:30 in the morning for my flight to Toronto. So I was just like, you know what? I'm just not gonna sleep. I'm just gonna so I decided to start streaming around like 10:30 or so PM. And then obviously it was about to hit midnight. I was like, well, I'm still almost there. So I just kept playing more past midnight, but I just couldn't hit it. And then like
Yeah, you were saying I'm surprised we didn't tune into each other because we were both
yeah,
playing at the same
I
time.
played a lot of sets too. I think I you when you sent a screenshot of your journal to me, I was like, wait, I played a lot of these same people too. But my team had the composition advantage into you as well. So you ran a Ranker double dragon, right? In the what was it,
Yeah,
retro?
retro. Yeah.
Double fighter dragon, Hakamo and Komo.
No,
Well,
I didn't have Hakama. I was running Reggie Drago.
oh right, Jago. Sorry. Double.
And
Okay.
I have to say, Reggie Drago, like after like the changes, to, like the
Vice
last
grip.
2 seasons, yeah, like is actually like pretty good and like really fun to use.
Mm-hmm.
Because like the vice grip is 10 turn pacing, and it's like
It's a 10 turn,
it,
9 turn. I thought it was.
it's 10.
Oh, okay.
It's
So it's a
40.
little bit
It's
slower than
40.
Swift and
Yeah,
Aircraft,
it's a little slower, which is like
but not that much,
fair.
like half a second. Yeah.
Yeah, which I think is fair because Reggie Drago is like a little bulkier than some of those
Mhm.
other dragons, I think, and also like the shoot, I'm spacing on the signature move now. Dragon Energy
Dragon Energy. Yeah.
hits pretty hard. Like it's an avalanche clone.
Yeah.
Um
It
and
used to
so
be a
like
fancy playing clone, but
yeah, I think that might have been a little too good with the new Vice Grip too,
yeah,
because like Vice Grip is like a side shot clone.
yeah.
And it's like a good nice bait, good coverage. Um, so yeah, Reggie Jargos like was pretty solid, and it was nice too because like again the Dragon Energy hits hard, and so I was able to do a lot of damage or just like take shields because like people don't usually want to tank a Dragon Energy, which would then often set up a shield advantage for Como O in the back.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, that was my team. What were you running?
I was running a Rankru, Shadow Kingdra, and Shadow Toucanon.
Okay,
The Toucan is what threw a lot of people off because it's ranked lower than it was in Sunshine Cup in Retro Cup, but because of that, no one expected it. So many people were just like ABA weak to Toucanon, so they were like
interesting.
double shield their safe swap whatever. And I'll just let it go. Save a shield for my Toucanon. I'll just like sweep their entire back line with like one shield advantage on my Toucan, no shields on their side. Like there's just so few things that could beat it. Yeah. It was pretty nutty actually. Even Charger Bug was kind of annoying, but I beat like most of Charger Bug I faced too, even within the lead. But
Yeah, I think for me the thing that gave me the most problem was Auroras.
oh yeah,
Because it was like
Aurora's for
my
your team,
main,
yeah.
yeah, because it was like my main Aurora. Well, even for you, it probably would have been a bit annoying.
It was annoying, yeah,
Because like a
yeah, because you have to
Rangaroo
throw
is a
like Vice
little
Grip, right? Like or bait him with Vice Grip. Most of the time they did shield my potential Swift from my Kingdra because the typings of the moves are same,
right.
right? Kingdra's
Yeah,
Swift, Swift Outrage, and you have
yeah,
just
yeah,
normal Dragon. It's just the
yeah.
same.
Because a Rangaroo is like kind of iffy into it.
Mhm.
You kind of have to like hope you shield a meteor beam, and like if they would bait me with a weather ball, I'd usually be kind of screwed from there.
I'm surprised you didn't run Reggie Drago and Shadow Kingdra because what does Como O do for you over like a Shadow Kingdra?
I don't know. I just wanted to play Como O in
I
all
mean, you hit
honesty.
Legend, not me, so I guess it worked out. But
I
I was just
wasn't even
curious because
I honestly
Kingdra's so
wasn't
safe there.
even yeah, I wasn't even like trying to hit legend or anything. I just wanted to like have fun. I was like, oh, Como O and Reggie Drago in a meta with no steel or fairy sounds super fun. Um I will say though that the upper hand coverage for like Furret and like Licky Licky safe swaps was pretty nice to have. Um it made it like a pretty good counter swap into those.
Hmm.
Um but
Yeah.
maybe Kingdra would have been better. Um, there's definitely times like against like a Jellicent or like something like that that it was a little awkward
Hmm.
because it's like I have to land the clanging scales for any real damage and that debuffs myself. Um, like even there was a few times that I think I misplayed it, but like I would counter swap a charge bug with my Como O, and it would get awkward even though I resist all the moves because the Como's squishy and it's like I have to land a clinging skills to actually take it out because upper hand is resisted.
Hmm.
And it's like you would think that matchup would just be like you just crush them, but it was actually a little awkward at times.
Yeah, yeah. But that I mean that was last week, obviously. So we have a cup that we haven't seen in a hot minute, like multiple years. I feel like it is Ultra League Premier and coming up this upcoming week. Obviously, Open Great League as well is another option. Um, but
Ultra Premier, interesting.
yeah, when was the last time we saw Ultra Premier? It's been a long time, super long time. I feel like
Are
literal
there
years. I'm pretty sure.
are there that many like super relevant like legendaries and mythicals in Ultra League right now?
Virizion, Cobalion, Giratina are probably the main ones, right? Oh, Zygarde, I guess. Let me actually pull it up. Oh, Galarian Moltres is number one actually, so
Oh yeah.
that's
Whoops.
super relevant.
And Regidrago.
Regidrago, yeah, Regidrago. You actually don't. I don't know. I didn't see a ton of, but yeah, Virizion, Zygarde complete. Not a ton for what it's worth. Like I don't think your
Not as
sale is
much
ranked
as
high,
it.
but no one actually uses that. So
Yeah, I feel like not as many legendaries as
no,
it's had in the past.
it's because the XLs, right? Because the last time we had this probably was like pre XLs or like just when XLs were released. But like XL non legendaries are typically a lot stronger. But at the very high point of it is Lapras, Corviknight, Grumpig are the top three. This actually looks like a meta from like a few years ago. um, Jones is at 5, Shadow Lapras 4.
Fortress and Empoleon. There's
Fortress,
so
yeah.
much water here. Empoleon, Blastoise, Ludicolo.
Yeah, I kind of want to try. I kind of want to try Tyranitar, but I don't know if it's a good idea or not. Let's see what
Probably
Tyranitar is
not with
ranked.
what I'm seeing.
261.
Yeah.
I kind of want to try it, though. I don't
I
know.
mean,
Maybe.
it's an interlude season. Like, you got nothing to lose.
What do you mean? I still got to hit legend, man.
There is no legend.
I know, but like it's like the
It's
satisfaction of hitting the 3K is still there. You can't act like there wasn't, right? You weren't sharing that you hit 3K because it was just 3K. Like it was the old legendary. You weren't sharing when you hit 2,900, right?
I guess I
Yeah.
was sharing it because I was mad because I haven't actually hit real legend in quite a while. And then of course the interlude
Bro,
season
you
I
should
hit
have done the
3K.
legend bet with me this time with the 3K bets. You had the option.
What do you and Anacore owe me?
Nothing, because you didn't sign up for it. You had to believe in yourself that you could do it. Hey, maybe
Yeah,
next
for
time
sure.
rounds. You
I
have
do
you have
think
no reason to get a handicap for next season if we do it. You have no reason. I
I
should get
think
the handicap actually, if anything.
yeah,
um,
looking at these rankings, I think a Rangaroo is gonna be good.
oh yeah, a ranker's been solid actually in Ultra League too. So that's
Because there's a lot of waters up here at the top. There's also like Shadow Dusknoir, which should be
mhm,
as well.
which is why Tyranitar perfect right there. Rank 261 as a shadow. I mean, if I can make that work, it should be a fun time. Because I don't think a lot. Again, it's kind of like that Shadow 2 cannon from Retro Cup. I don't think people are going to see it coming. But yeah. Anyway, that's going to do it for Go Battle League. Again, interlude season. So, but I think people still want to try to win if they can, right? Get those encounters. Championship Series. We've had our first ever tournament of the 2026 season, first of the Precious Path seasons as well. Not first of 2026 season, right? 2026 year, I should say, because we're already in the 2026 season. But should be, it was a fun time. I was commentating it with Softove, Swedish Chief, and Tool Butters. And boy, were there some upsets in this tournament. What were your thoughts on it as someone that was someone that was watching it?
My thoughts are I'm gonna need you to tell me what happened because I was busy and didn't see a single battle all
What?
weekend.
Oh, do you know the results though?
Yeah, I
Okay,
saw the
okay,
results. I just
okay.
didn't see any of the actual battles. So
Oh, okay,
like,
okay, okay, okay. Well, there are a ton of upsets in many ways. Elam was the only previous Toronto champion that made it to day number 2. I think he actually entered on the winner's side too, actually. But it was kind of crazy. So I think we talked about DHC United in a past episode before, because first time he ever played was Vegas, which was only a few months ago, less than 2 months ago. And then he only played Top Cup, made top 17. But I just remember I was like, who is this guy? Like, is there a possibility that he's actually just someone that we've known but just has a different username, like changed it, right? but no, like first ever actual tournaments. He said in an interview that he's been GBLing since 2021, but hasn't actually played in official tournament. So decided to try it out in Vegas. Went to LAIC the very following weekend, which is crazy, right? Because imagine that being your back-to-back first two tournaments within a week span.
Yeah,
But
for
gets top
real.
cut at Vegas, which is also wild because he was probably practicing for both the Open Great League meta in Vegas and also the LAIC meta. And then he goes to so he literally went to like the most recent two tournaments in North America at least or internationally, and then goes to the most like the soonest tournament he could have done in North America again, and that was Toronto, and he ran a Shadow Gyarados, which I'm like, I remember when I saw it. Well, it wasn't even him. Him and his friend HDMV had the same exact team, and they both ran the Shadow Gyarados, and HDMV also made that top cut. This is HDMV's second ever tournament, and I guess they're like friends of the team built together and whatever. And that thing was actually pretty good. Not gonna lie. Not a lot of Sunfist in this tournament. And also, even against Sunfist, you have super effective Aqua Tail for it, right?
Yeah, it looks
Uh,
like they ran the exact same team. Yeah, they both
mhm.
top cut. HDMV came
Yeah,
in on
they're
the
friends. Like
loser side
they
though.
mentioned it. Yeah,
Um, it's
but
interesting because like yeah, I'm like seeing who made day two. Like there definitely were a lot of upsets and like some newer people who either haven't made Top Cut before is one of their first few. But then like there are some of the expected people to Ilum, like we said, Nighttime Clasher, Javier V20 in the winner's side, and then the loser side people like Stone Collection, Colin Six, SS
mhm,
Thorn, Rise to Occasion, Dunebug, Jocko Loco. Um, so like definitely an interesting mix of
super
some
interesting.
some people that weren't expected and a lot of the people that were expected.
This gives me a lot of Milwaukee vibes. Milwaukee was similar, right? Where like the winner side of the bracket in day two looked like it could have, like if you didn't know, if you saw the two groups by just names, you would have thought the winners and loser side were like swapped around, but
Right.
that just wasn't the case. So let me tell you, right? Who's in the winners finals in these brackets on day number one to show you like the upsets, right? That I'm not going to read every potential upset, but just like in terms of like what the seeding was and who actually ended up there as how many upsets there were. So on winner side of Group A, day one, seed 21 versus seed 11. HGMV versus It's a Satire. And It's a Satire won that one. And then in the losers bracket of that, losers finals in that same bracket. By the way, bracket A is usually the most stacked bracket because like all the top seeds of the top seeds are there, right? Like the number one seed in Group A is the number seed in the whole tournament. The number two seed in Group A is the number two seed in the entire tournament, right? Like all the number two seeds are ranked lower, right? So in the losers finals of Group A is ranked C21 versus C10, and C21 actually won that one too. Group B, Javier V20 was C3, beat Radnick C at C12. So a little bit less of an upset, but still, I mean, not like 1 and 2 seed. And then losers of that is a C12 or C10. C10 wins it. This was such a crazy one. Will D. So first time I saw him play was in Vegas, but he did play like a couple years ago in like Hartford 2023. Very different meta, obviously, right? Like literally 3 years ago. But in this meta, he ran a very controversial team. I'm sure some people that watch the broadcast would know. You might not know, but he ran something similar in Vegas and almost made top cut. Got 17 there, but this time he got top cut. He ran a Toad School, Volt Switch Fortress, Brick Break Furret, Bastiodon, Wigglytuff, and Hydro Pump Azumarill with Ice Beam, which is a little wild. I don't know how you feel about that
Hey,
choice,
hey,
but
Bastion Frit Core for Anacore. That's all I'm
oh,
seeing.
for real. I actually don't know if he brought Bastion once in the tournament. I don't think he used it once in any of the broadcasted matches, but he could have on the tables. But he was leaning heavily into the Toad School, the Fortress. He brought a little bit for it. Brought some. He literally brought everything besides the Bastion from what I've seen.
Wait,
Um,
was the Zoomerl play rough Hydro Pump
Ice
or Ice
Beam,
Beam?
Ice Beam,
Okay.
Hydro Pump. Yeah, yeah. It was kind of it's an interesting one for sure. Um, And here's who he beat, right? He had quite the upset. So he wins against some 23 seed first off, loses to Freezing Sun, and then goes to the losers bracket. And the losers bracket, he beats some people that are lower seed, and he beats Mushroom Queen. I actually don't know that's Lorenzo who that is. Beats Lyle Jeffs, beats Hard Jeff, and then beats Radnitsky, who was on the winner side. Radnitsky was the one that beat Harjev on the winner side as well. And then on day 2, he beats Rise Occasion, and then he almost beats Elam. Complete RPS Elam, but Elam over like his overfarm on his Sludge Bomb Guzzlord actually allowed him to like beat a Wigglytuff in the end game. But he almost beats Elam and forces him into game 3. And yeah, kind of wild of a team. I even asked Rise afterwards. I got dinner with him on Sunday, and I was like, "What exactly happened?" Right? Because he was telling me, but essentially, like his Altair is really strong to the team, but the problem is like there's like a Wigglytuff, a Zumaro, and a Bastion, so it's like really scary to bring. But he didn't like. Will D didn't actually bring the Bastion at all. But I was like, that's crazy because you know how many names he upset there, right? Jeff,
Yeah.
Bio, Rise. Like I was making the joke. I was like, the biggest benefactor of Will D's run is probably everyone else in Top Cut because they're just like we didn't have to face these other players. But he
You're
also
not
got Elam
wrong.
too. Imagine that.
Yeah, it's definitely like a funky team that probably most people like no one would have practiced against like some
No,
sort of
no,
comp like this, right?
definitely
So
not.
so figuring out how to play against it is going to be tough, and like it definitely does seem a bit more alignment dependent than what most of the other players are playing too. So
Mm-hmm.
um like yeah, so just having to like sort of rejig your thought process
the,
in terms of
the
how you
thing is,
play.
like, I will give him credit. He played well. Like, there are times where he didn't two shield, he gave up switch advantage, and you have a switch advantage, like a shield advantage, like Fortress or something, or a switch advantage, or a shield advantage Toe Scroll. It was able to just sweep like that, right? Because I think that's what Rise said. Like, he fought for switch advantage. Because, again, you're playing against an alignment player. You got to fight for switch advantage. He'll go down 2 shields to 1, and so he's down a shield, but then it'll be like a Volswitch Fortress that will sweep his, like, backline, right?
Right,
Um,
yeah, because like yeah, and like that's again like alignment based teams aren't like always just tap tap. Like there's definitely skill to them as well. And it's like
yeah.
if he's able to read, like you said, like something like a fortress that depending how it matches up into the team, or like I could even see like a furret, or a Zoomerl or something,
Yeah.
like going off depending on the team comp. If they have a shield advantage, they might
Mm-hmm.
be able to just run through some stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so kind of an interesting one. I'm sure a lot of people watching or playing were not a fan of the team. I was talking to some of the other casters, and they were like, it wasn't even me that said it, but some of them were like, yeah, it's actually kind of like it's a little bit fun to have that, like one player or so, like 1 or 2 players have something like that, like not like the entire top 16, right? It's like almost having like a little bit like a RPS villain that you have to face because it's just like legitimately like if it was someone else lesser known, right? You'd be like, okay, they had to like super outskill someone like Elam or Harjeff or Rice in skill matchups, right? Because and it's possible, right? Because we had upsets as DHC proved it with those kind of strategies. But like when you're running against someone that runs that stuff, like anything can happen. You could be the best player in the world and you could just be caught in a tough position and see if you can outplay it. But yeah, it was interesting. Anyway, he's got a lot of championship points under his belt. 17th at Toronto at Vegas, and I think he got what did he get here? It was close. He got ninth overall. Pretty solid, honestly.
Oh wow, yeah,
Yeah. So
definitely.
yeah, better than what I've done this season, that's for sure. um anyway, so enough about all that. But the the winner side was pretty stacked with upsets. So right off the bat, like Kelsey beats 2-0's Javier. Kelsey also 2-0'd Rise on the winner side of day 1. Um, and then DHC United 2-1's Elam. And then the others were like Lost and Cody and It's a Satire. Like I think most probably would have said It's a Satire's the underdog there, did lose that one. And then Neuro Dylan, probably the underdog versus Nighttime Clasher, did lose against Nighttime Clasher. But then Kelsey 2-0's Nighttime in the semifinals, and DHC United 2-1's Lost and Cody in the semifinals. So then you have a winner's finals between Kelsey and DHC United, which neither have played even best of fives or made it to like winners finals prior to this, right?
Right. And then I
Uh,
think third place was Stun Collection from the
yeah,
losers bracket, right?
came real far from the loser side because he came in to the loser side. So he had the 2-0
Yeah.
HDMV, the other Shadow Gyarados user, 2-0 Neuro Dylan, 2-0 Javier, 2-0 Lawson Cody. Holy. And the 2-1 nighttime clasher in the loser semifinals. Man, this guy was on a run. No wonder he was feeling good. He played a lot of battles, but if you're 2-0ing all of them, like you're probably feeling great. And then he lost 3-1 or 1-3 to DHC United, which I thought was interesting because he 2-0'd the same exact team he played earlier because DHC United and HMV had the same exact team. So I thought he was going to have advantage. We didn't see how he played against HDMV because on the tables, but
Right.
the fact that that was that happened is pretty nuts.
Right. But I mean, different people could play the same team pretty differently.
Sure, yeah,
So
absolutely, yeah. So I don't think DHC really relied on Shadow Gyarados into that matchup because he did have Unova Sunfist, and like those Thunder Shocks really add up.
yeah, for
Even if you
real.
get outpaced on the Aquatail, but um, yeah, and then we got a rematch in DHC United and Kelsey, and then DHC goes 3-0 and then 3-1. Resets the bracket and goes, yeah, despite losing 1-3 against Kelsey earlier. And I like she played really well in the winners finals and honestly in the grand finals too. I think it's just that he didn't realize how strong Shadow Gyarados could be into her team, so he didn't use it as much, or didn't play it as like didn't trust it as much. But he just full sent it on Shadow Gyarados. I think he ran it in every game in the grand finals. I think he ran it 7 games straight. But it's just because her answer is like what Florges, but Florges gets outpaced, right? To the move.
True.
And then
Yeah.
Buzzword takes a lot of super effective damage, right? Even though you resist all the charge tags. So like it was, and then even Empoleon, you're throwing resistant metal sound and you get outpaced. Like he's just throwing straight Aquatail. He's not even like going for the crunch. And like even if you don't shield, it does a good chunk of damage. And then again, he'll get to the second one before she gets the second move. So if he shields the drill peck, it's actually pretty annoying to deal with.
Interesting. Yeah, that makes sense actually.
Yeah, and
Was
her Jelson was pretty strong to his team, but like she won one game with it, and then she got locked into Gyarados in the final game. But it was pretty exciting, though. I mean, to see two, not necessarily like new faces in the circuit, but like first time in grand finals, first time in winners finals kind of storylines with with how stacked the tournament is, right? To see that outcome is
oh
pretty
yeah,
pretty
definitely,
neat.
definitely.
And this is one of the biggest tournaments we've had, especially on a regional basis. 219.
Yeah,
Obviously, some no shows, but still
yeah,
200
that's quite
plus.
big for sure.
Yeah,
So
18, 8
like
brackets. 8-1.
was like did DHC United use the Gyarados a lot throughout the tournament or mostly just in
Yeah,
like
you
the
did. It was nuts. Like it wasn't like a spice pick bench pressure kind of thing, or use it once in a blue moon. Like he used it in at least over half his battles, is my guess, in the tournament.
and
At
like
least
did it
over
look
half.
good
It's
or like what?
did honestly. I mean, it's not easy to use because you'll see like he tanks one brutal stream from Guzzler and he's like below half health, right? Or he'll just
Yeah,
be in a matchup where he's only throwing fast attacks and they're throwing fast attacks and he's below half health, even though like they haven't thrown a move. So it's weird, but at the same time, it looked really good too. I don't even know. Like it wasn't like he wasn't getting us stuck into like Gastrodon and like Marowak stuff like that. Like I actually didn't see that happen much at all. Um,
interesting.
yeah, it was super interesting, and HDMV made it look pretty good too, but like I think it's like one of those things where I don't know if people pick it up or use it or find success with it just because they did. Like it kind of gives me vibes of Meteor Fallen using Drill, what do you call it? Not Drill,
Firo.
Firo in Milwaukee. Like it
Yeah,
didn't really pick up in usage after, right? But he made it
right.
look really good in his
For
matches,
sure.
and it
Well,
gave me similar vibe. I mean, if we're in a Shadow Gyarados meta, like I'd be happy with that, right? But I just don't know if we are. I just think he
right.
played
Yeah, I
really
will
well and
say
made a good
like
meta really well.
I know Paula top cut with the Shadow Gyarados during the last GBL season. I think I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
It was whatever European tournament was like right before LAIC, I think.
By like
I
Stuttgart.
know maybe.
But I mean, Stuttgart was after. Actually, Stuttgart was the one after. It was the one before that. Yeah, the one
Uh
that David won, right?
I think
David
so.
and
I'll
Cody in the
double
grand
check.
finals. Yeah.
But yeah, I know Paula like top cut with it, so like it's not the first time it's had success, but also like it didn't catch on after obviously Paula didn't win the whole tournament, but like it didn't catch on after
Mm-hmm.
oh, it was Gdansk.
Good thanks. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she got fifth with the Shadow
Oh,
Gyarados
okay.
in Gdansk.
I didn't watch all those matches, so I actually don't know how that looked. But yeah, I mean, this is definitely the first time ever Shao Gyarados even got like a top 3, let alone winning a tournament.
Oh,
But
and actually, yeah, and Stone Collection got seventh in Gdansk with the Shadow
oh,
Gyarados.
he ran it too. Interesting.
Yeah,
Also, he's familiar. I mean, but
yeah,
obviously, like, well, I don't know about HMV, but DHC didn't even bring it to him for good reason. But yeah.
yeah. And Stone Collection, I remember, was even crazier because his team was like super weak to Stunfisk. So the fact that he was running a Shadow Gyarados was crazy.
That is kind of nuts.
Um,
I feel like we might have even talked about it back then, but it's been a
yeah,
while. So
but yeah, so like again, these aren't like the first top cuts for Shadow Gyarados,
yeah,
but
yeah.
definitely he took it farther than either of them were able to.
Stone Collection ran
Um,
a pretty meta team. Him and Colin Six ran the same exact team, which is a little bit different for Stone Collection, right? Because we see him run like a lot of spice in the past, but I didn't
yeah,
feel like he could do it all. But he played pretty well. I think he said he made a slight misplay in the loose finals, which I probably agree. Like in the fourth game, he probably should have won it, but um, yeah, it's just like he led an Altari into a Shadow Marowak, and unfortunately, DHC was able to kind of like overfarm a bit and just throw back to back rock side to Altaria. But
so
um,
what were your thoughts of the meta as a whole? I mean,
it's
it seems like mostly a continuation of like the meta at the very end of last season.
the biggest difference is
Uh,
Empoleon.
well, yeah, we
Empoleon
had
shot up a
Empoleon.
ton in usage, and it looked really good. It was like number one usage. There were also a lot of leaky on day one, but funny enough, in day two, there was only one in the final top eight, and the other three were in like the bottom like 16.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, because it seemed to me because Empoleon at like the end of the last GBL season was definitely starting to surge. Like the I think Gdansk,
Yeah,
Vegas, Stuttgart
yeah.
was when it was like coming up in popularity.
Empoleon
Um,
does not surprise me because I did see that in a lot of local tournaments, but I did not see really a single licky in my locals. Obviously, my locals is not like a great like example of like the whole like meta uh, environment,
yeah,
but the fact that I played a number of locals leading up to this, and like I didn't see really anyone use like licky or successfully, but it was very high in usage in day one, and I mean there were like four in day two, so there's that.
yeah. I mean, it kind of makes sense to me. I think Licky and Jellicent were probably the most expected, like sort of new additions to
Well,
the meta as a result of the move update.
Jellicent, I didn't expect there to be a lot of. I obviously more than last time, right? Because besides like Arreo, no one's really brought it or used it. So I mean, there's second place with Kelsey, right? And it looked pretty solid. But I think everyone that had Jellicent, Doombug had it in top 16, and Neuro Dylan did. Those are the only three. And at least when I was watching their matches, it seemed like it was really good in certain matchups, but none of them really brought it consistently. Like they would bring it like once in a while, but every time they brought it, it was like pretty solid. But like you couldn't like it's not like DHC bring like Gyarados like into almost every game, right? It wasn't that safe, but obviously in the right matchups, it looked pretty disgusting
Right.
until
Yeah,
like the
because the thing is, like,
Empoleon.
I'm seeing, like, looking at, like, sort of the top cut usage, like, there's some Licky, and then
Mhm.
there's a decent chunk of Guzzlord, and
Yeah,
then
Gusto looked good too.
quite a bit of Furret too.
Mhm.
So yeah, like the Jellicent isn't super safe, but
Yeah.
like my point is just of the things that like got buffed this season, I think Jellicent was sort of expected to be one
Mhm.
of the more again, we didn't know if it was going to be like a top meta player or not,
Right,
but
right,
like
right.
of all the things that got buffed, probably Jellicent, Licky, and then like Sableye and Malamar were probably like the most expected things to potentially have
Yeah,
an impact.
yeah.
Um,
A lot of Marowak. Shadow Marowak was top usage in day two. There was one on each team in the grand finals. There was how many is that? Six out of the top eight. So pretty high usage. Pretty high success rate too. There's less Shadow Marowak in the top like 9 through 16. So the people that typically perform better had the Shadow Marowak over like Gashadon or some other Mud Slapper or Ground type.
right. And it's interesting too because it was like I think the tail end of last season, it seemed like Unova Stunfisk was becoming the most popular ground type,
Particularly in
and
EU, yeah. The only two that were in top 16 were two EU players, actually. I think it's good. I actually was surprised that that wasn't as high up. Obviously, Marowak being that high up is kind of annoying, but there's always some mud slapper, right? If it's not Marowak, it's Gashon. So those aren't great matchups. But I thought it'd be a little bit higher because it's solid into the Empoleon.
yeah,
Very reliably so. You can take a move they can't. You outpace, right? Obviously, you have to swap fast if you try to counter swap them. So it takes a little bit of skill to pilot, but um,
yeah. But yeah, and then I found the increase in Guzzlord kind of interesting,
mhm.
because that sort of felt like it came out of nowhere a little bit.
Yeah,
But
that
I
was a
guess
good
that
meta
makes
read.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially again if obviously there wasn't a ton of Jellicent in Top Cut, but it's like if you're expecting to see Jellicent as a popular pick, like you wall off all that energy.
There's also
You
just
also
not
like
many fighters. There, if you
right,
look at it, there's one fighter in the top eight, and it's Doombug's Primate, and like it didn't. It was good in Vegas. I don't think it was that good here. Like he was mostly playing 5v6 most of the time. Like every time he brought the Primate, I
yeah,
think he lost with it or like didn't do so hot with
right.
it.
And then the
Um,
other advantage of the Ghost Lord is the Furret matchup because you resist the Sucker Punch.
dude, This is actually kind of crazy. I think he was the only fighter in top 16. Have we ever had a tournament in a top 16 where the fighter usage is that low? This might be the
I don't
first.
think so.
That's actually isn't that kind of crazy? Literally 1 out of 16 players had a fighter on their team. That's
That's so
nuts.
wild.
That's nuts. Yeah. Yeah, that's one Pokemon out of 96 Pokemon in the final day that was a fighter. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, that's wild. But I
Yeah,
think
I
that's why
do wonder
Guzzlord is
if
pretty
that
safe, right? And then like
right.
there's like one fairy on each team, but that's fine, right? Like one hard answer is not that bad.
Right. Well, and like the fact that Ghost Lord is normally running the Sludge Bomb for coverage anyways.
Hmm.
And it's like if the fairy is a Zoomerl, like obviously Zoomerl's bulkier and so it takes several Sludge Bombs to take out an Azumarill, but it's like the Ghost Lord does resist the bubble. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
like getting charmed
Yeah.
down like it would from like a weekly tough or
Well, I mean,
something.
it won some players like Elam matchups against even Wigglytuff. Like it's just 2 shots to Wigglytuff if you have that much energy, and you farm energy a lot faster with the Dragon Tail. So
Yeah, and I think the other interesting thing with the Ghost Lord too is um obviously it's not like the hardest answer, but it's one of only a very few Pokemon that can beat the Altaria Empoleon core,
mhm. Yeah,
which does seem to be a pretty popular core right now.
yeah,
So having like neutral to positive matchups into both of those, while like also beating the Furret, beating Jellicent, beating the Stunfisk, like beating Talonflame, like it's got some interesting roll compression and core breaking ability.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting one. We have 3 tournaments this upcoming weekend, so it's Merida, Birmingham, and Auckland. Merida is like there's gonna be like a side stream, or not a side stream, but they're streaming some battles, I guess, but not like no, there's no casters or whatever. So
You're the casters.
wow. So I mean, here's the thing. I was going to try to do like an unofficial cast with like Butters and Speedy and maybe someone else. But the problem is I don't think they'll have like all 6 Pokemon even on the graphic or anything. I think it'll just be like it'll look like 2 GBL battles, side by side. So I think what me, Butters, and Speedy will do is like some kind of tri-cast. We're just mostly like analyzing and talking casually, but not like, oh, like here comes this, like like a play-by-play kind of thing.
Yeah,
It's like
like
almost
a
like we're
watch party
reacting. We're almost like
basically.
reacting to the battles in a way, right?
Yeah, more like a watch party.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. More like a watch party, a coach team watch party. But I'm sure some other people will be doing that too. Or honestly, I think others might be like I think like Home Size Henry or whatever, because he usually does it. He might honestly do a watch party for the Birmingham tournament instead, right? Because you see, like it's like more show 6 oriented.
Yeah.
But I'll do that, and anyone can do that if they want. There's a link they posted somewhere, where you can watch it
Yeah.
too.
I
So
was I was talking to some people. It's really interesting like how the the official tournaments are structured in this GBL season
mhm.
because first of all, there's only 7 tournaments happening in Open Great League because US season a limited meta, right? Which is
Right?
7 tournaments is like a lot less than any other season to begin with.
Really? Okay.
I think so. Yeah, normally I think it's more like I know the September to
Oh,
December season had more.
right, because we
Um,
didn't have any in December, really.
yeah,
Yeah, so that's like a whole month gone. Oh,
yeah. So
interesting.
there's only
Okay.
7 tournaments
Yeah.
first of all, and those 7 tournaments are only over 4 different weekends
Okay, so yeah,
because we have
interesting.
3 this weekend,
Right.
and then 2 weekends later, there's 2 tournaments in the same weekend as
Yeah, yeah,
well.
yeah.
So,
Hmm.
and on top of that, the other thing is like besides Seattle, which is the very last weekend of the season, it's like we had Toronto, and then the next week there's 3 tournaments, and then there's only a week off, and then 2 more. So there's also not as much time in between tournaments for the meta to necessarily like develop as much in response because it's like with such a short gap, people might already be figuring out what they want to run in advance and maybe not changing it as much. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see like if this meta develops as much or if it stays a little more similar just because there's less tournaments and they're so concentrated.
Yeah. Okay. That is, oh, I will say though, this was like a fairly small meta update for the pressure pass season.
Yeah,
Like
that too for
at least like
sure.
meta impacting, right? There were changes, but like as you can see, this meta it's not that different. It's like almost like Empoleon didn't get buffed, right? It just became more relevant here. So I that is technically a slight meta difference, but like it's not like a bunch of new things got it. People just like rearranging kind of like what prioritizing what used to be good and seeing if they could bring it out to the teams or not. Because if you look at least like the top eight, the only thing that got buffed is what Kelsey's Jellicent. Anything else? I actually don't think. Oh, Licky Licky on Lost and Cody's side, but there's only one Licky Licky there,
Yeah. And
and
again, like I
Humongous
was saying, like
Jellicent.
this meta doesn't, besides like the Jellicent and the Licky Licky, like this looks fairly similar to like what we saw in Stuttgart, for example.
Yeah,
Like it's a lot of similar Pokemon for sure.
yeah.
Um, did I'm curious, how did because Rice was running Malamar, right? Shadow Malamar, how did that
Yeah,
look?
I didn't commentate his matches. I did watch his versus Kelsey's briefly, like backstage. Uh, it's okay, I guess. I asked him about it. He said, I don't remember. I don't think he said he loved it, but it's just because the foul play did get buffed, right? But
Yeah.
I don't know. He didn't make it seem like it was like amazing, but he didn't. I don't really recall like exactly like his thoughts on it. I think he was like kind of iffy on it.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's
I
his
was just curious because,
match.
like, going in, I was sort of expecting like Sableye and Malamar to maybe be some of the bigger things,
Sableye is
and
still kind
like,
of hard to use. I feel like something I've been enjoying is Murkrow. Dude, the Murkrow matchup actually changes things for Corviknight. Because I completely didn't realize Corviknight, beats like Murkrow like in the last season. But I was playing in some locals. I was like, whoa. I was like, this zero shield situation doesn't seem too bad. Like I could take it out with 2 foul play, right? And then I realized, oh wait, they buffed foul play. And like it's one of the few Pokemon I feel like where the foul play extra damage actually changed like a few matchups.
that's interesting.
Yeah, because I don't think anyone's really like locked into Murkrow for whatever reason. I mean, the teams I run in locals are pretty freaking weird. I guess like I'm running like a Gorgeist and Bastion. I mean, that's just me, right? Like I think like my team construction is different because of just having a Bastion alone. You kind of have to build a little bit differently. So, so I don't know if it actually would work. Like Murkrow would work on like a traditional team. They're just like you might as well just run all target instead, right? If you can run something weak to fairy
Right.
for the bulk. But I liked it. But yeah.
Oh, and then I guess the other interesting meta developments are like Cradily and Corsola both like disappeared completely.
Yeah, Credilli being that low actually that's actually pretty wild. Yeah. Corsola is like ranked really high. I actually think Corsola might be good. It's just that people aren't like bringing it. Like what does Corsola really lose to? Just the dark, right? Like if you had
Well, and the
HD United
Furret
team,
and the Licky Licky.
yeah, but most of you don't have multiple, right? So like against the HD
True.
United team, your hardest answer and the only one you had no play into is Furret. Against Kelsey, it's Guzzlord. Against Jelson outpaces, so but you can hit back, right? That's not that bad at all.
Yeah.
Stone Collection is Furret. Nighttime is Guzzlord. Like every team only has one answer.
Well,
Oh no,
true, but
Lost Cody has the Licky Licky and Furret.
I guess. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't
Junebug has
realize he ran.
Wiggins.
I didn't realize he
Does
ran double normal. But
yeah.
I guess the thing with the Corsola is probably like it doesn't. I feel like it doesn't necessarily have a ton of targets right now. Like
Yeah, there's no Annihilate, right?
there's not
It's
really
neutrally very
any.
strong.
Right, sure, it's neutrally strong, but like there's not really any fighters.
Mm-hmm.
There's not really any like psychic types or anything like that. So it doesn't
Not
have
a
a
lot
lot
of
of like.
Gastrodon even. I guess I mean Gastrodon's
Yeah.
not like it has play into it, but like you have to go water pulse, whereas Marowak you just throw Bone Club, right?
Yeah,
So
so like I feel like there's not a lot of Corsola counter or like targets, I mean. And then the other thing is like
Dusknoir's out of it too. We haven't seen any
yeah.
Dusknoir.
Well, and I was gonna say the other part is the fact that, like you said before, there's like basically no fighters.
Mm-hmm.
And with there being not many fighters, I feel like that means there's not as many good checks to the Guzzlord, to the Licky Licky, to the Furret. So
Sure.
even if every team only has like one Corsola answer,
That
it
that
doesn't
answer is super
necessarily.
safe.
Right, that answer is like decently safe. So it's
Yeah.
like, oh, your Corsola is not really beating much,
Mm-hmm.
like reliably, and their best answer is kind of safe against you. So like, why would you bring it?
The only person that had a Cordelia in the top 16 was It's a Satire. But he was saying how he took the team from Trade Flames, which makes so much sense. So I was like, man, I feel like I've seen this team like a million times. And Trade Flames keeps bringing it. So like, again, I think like my view of the meta was a little bit skewed towards my locals because a lot of my locals were running like, they were running like Cordelia or like Corsola, right? So they're still kind of stuck in I don't know if it's like a bad thing or good thing, but they're kind of still using a lot of the old meta stuff. But probably because like they play against each other and they're like, oh yeah, of course it still looks good or Cordelia still looks good, but
Right, for
not.
sure,
Yeah,
for
but
sure.
again, no one's really running licky licky in our metas in our locals, so that makes
Yeah.
sense, you know. So
Um, and then I think the other thing with the Corso dropping off too a little bit is like that Jellicent usage because it's
yeah,
sort of cutting into
there's
that
only
a
three
little bit.
Jelson though. On top of that, like yeah, I don't know. Again, I think for the ones that did have Jelson, they didn't use it a ton because there was like a Furret or Guzzlord on every single
Sure, but
team,
my
right?
point is
Yeah,
like that's three Jellicent that could have been three
yeah.
Corsolas, right?
Yeah, that's
But
fair.
like even day one usage, like if you look at the day one usage, like Jellicent made top 12 with 22.2% usage. Corsola didn't make the top 12 usage at
Mhm.
all.
Yeah.
So like while there's still some Corsola floating around, I think some of that usage has switched over to the Jellicent instead. So I think that's a little bit why it dropped as well. Like sort of the combo of those two things.
Yeah.
The Great Dilly dropping though, that's kind of interesting to me. Um, do you think it's just because like Empoleon is so good right now, or like
Mm, I don't know. I think well, because the Credilli one's interesting too, because no one's running fighters, right?
yeah,
And there is still Wigglytuff and Florges running around.
and the Azumarill.
And a Zoomer. I mean, not a ton, but yeah, there is a Zoomer.
Wait, there was 50% Azumarill on day two.
Oh yeah, that's actually kind of interesting. Yeah, there's two in the top four. So, I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know. There were a decent amount of Scizor. There were actually four in the top eight, seven in the top 16. It's a good chunk. I
Yeah, I
actually don't
guess
know.
Empoleon and Scissor were both
Well, Marowak being super high in
43.8%.
usage is also not great for it, right? Because it's not like
True.
it's you can't really. It's like kind of an awkward matchup with the
Yeah.
acid, but you kind of need acid. I don't know. I generally don't know. I mean, if you look at it into a lot of teams, it doesn't look amazing, right? It has play, but it doesn't look amazing into a lot of it. I think it looked a little bit safer into Kelsey's team with the Florges. Jelson's actually pretty good into it, so that's actually not really a true counter. Talonflame's kind of
Yeah.
weird too, but like it's got play into like it's not bad in Gutsword. But like, but again, it's not even that strong to Kelsey's team. Like you got Marowak's not that clean, and Polion's like kind of weird. You get outpaced. Like everything has play into it too. I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just interesting because it's like it was so high usage and like everyone was
Yeah,
like clamoring for a Rock Tomb nerf and all this stuff. And
dude,
then
this is
it's
why I don't
like,
trust people. People be clamoring for so many things. It's like I don't think Rock Tomb is bad. You know, like people claim for Mud Slap nerf. Like again, like dude, I'm the guy that used Bastion in tournaments. Like I don't think that's right either. I mean, yeah, it's strong, but like then you make stuff like Bastion super strong too, right? In a meta where there's not really any fighters already, then you're gonna nerf the one thing that keeps that kind of stuff in check. Like I don't think that's a play.
oh, and then the one
People
other,
trying to nerf Bullet Punch. I don't know. Like Scizor was like okay, but like I don't think Bullet Punch is that crazy right now. Like yes, I mean
well,
Scizor's strong, but it's not that strong.
I think that like thing that's holding Scissor back a little bit right now is the Empoleon being good and popular.
But that matchup, if you play it out the twos, is actually pretty awkward. You have to two shield Empoleon. I saw that Hell
Yeah.
Times tournament and like it was pretty awkward for the Empoleon.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. The
But
other interesting thing is how did Lapras look? Because that was one that like I was sort of surprised was non-existent last GBL season, and it seemed like out of the blue
oh,
it sort of just like came back into the meta, and like
it looked
I don't
good.
really
It looked
it.
good. Yeah. I every time I was kind of surprised by it too. I talked about it with Soph on the cast. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm surprised his Lapras usage there. But every time I said that, like you use Lapras, it was really good into Azumarill teams too. Like there were a lot of people
Right.
that had it was like Azumarill versus Lapras, and like they just like ate up all the energy on the Azumarill, overfarmed, and I don't know. The Lapras actually looked really solid. Obviously
I assume
Kelsey
they
and
were mostly
United
Ice
didn't have
Beam,
it, but
right?
huh?
They were running Ice Beam probably, right?
Yeah. Not no one was running Skull Bash. Yeah, Nighttime had it. Elam had it. Javier had it. Those are three in the top 8.
Well, actually, you know why? What is probably helping the Lapras is it's the low fighter usage, like you said, but it's
Yeah,
also I think the low Cradilly and low Corsola usage.
that's true. I mean, yeah, I mean, Corsa's not terrible for it, but yeah, lower Credility for sure, and lower fighters for sure. I mean, fighters are also kind of weird unless you're running like if you're running Pangoro, it's not good. But like you have play into all the fighters too. But
Oh, for sure,
yeah,
for
I think
sure.
like it's also like if you look at the people that had the Lappers, like Nighttime, Elam, Javier, like these are very skilled players that are great with energy management. So like in their hands, like something that bulky with great like spamming moves is pretty good.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure. But yeah, it was just it's I find it so
yeah.
interesting because it just like disappeared and now like it's back and
Low,
I
but it was the
couldn't
usage
really.
was low, but it was high performance rate. 3 in the top 8, none in the 9 through 16 slots. So the ones that did bring it into day 2 all got top 8 with it, which is kind of nuts.
Yeah, I guess it was low usage because it didn't make top
No,
12 for day one.
no, yeah,
Um,
but a lot of Corviknight though, and I mean it looked decent for a lot of our players. Um, so yeah,
but yeah,
but
any other thoughts on the meta, the tournament, the storylines, any of
uh,
that?
I'm really curious what Birmingham's going to look like because the EU meta tends to look a little bit different from NA. Like they have a little bit less fast deck pressure and more charge deck oriented strategies. But if you look at here, there's a lot like Marowak. Um, you know, I mean, Guzzlord is not that much fast deck pressure for us, but like Marowak over Stunfisk, right? Like Wigglytuff over stuff like Florges. In this tournament, there was actually probably more Florges than Wigglytuff, but still a decent amount, right? Like Dune had it, Will D had it. That's about it, actually, in the top cut. But I mean, but in day 1, I think there's a decent amount, right? A lot more Florges in day 2, for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
day one, Florges and Wiggly were pretty close. It looks
yeah.
like 20% Florges, 22.7% Wiggly.
Mhm.
So they were quite close.
I don't think that Shadow Gyarados is going to necessarily pick up a lot. I think if anything, if EU players will use it, that's probably going to be the highest rate because that's more up their speed, right? Charge deck oriented. Obviously, like some of them, like Stone Collection, Paul Lacha, have already used it this past season. People like Z's Wise is very comfortable with it, right? He ran at Worlds, so and that was before they did the Dragon Tail or Dragon Breath change.
Yeah.
But I yeah, I don't know. I think it was a really good meta read from DHC United and HGMV, but I think also the other issue with EU is that they like Unova a lot more. So I feel like it's harder to have that success in their tournaments than an NA tournament.
Wait,
But
and so when you said it was a good meta read, like why, like just because it was like neutral across the board, or because you felt like it
um,
was like core breaking certain like popular
it's just there
like
weren't really any
combos,
hard
or
counters to it. If you look at the teams, right? So obviously don't look at their United or HGMV's team, but all right, let's look at Kelsey's team. What's the hardest answer to it? Like Empoleon's kind of sketch, right? You're throwing resistant attacks into it.
yeah,
You beat Marowak. You have a lot of play into Guzzlord doing super effect damage. You'd hard beat the Town Flame. You have a lot of play into the Jellicent, right? And then Florges again, like you're throwing neutral moves at it, but the Aqua Tails come out first. It's not a good matchup. I think that's probably her best matchup. That and Napoleon are probably her best matchups. But when the Gyarados has play into both of them, that's not good because you don't have a hard answer to one of the hardest hitting Pokemon, right?
right,
And
for
spammy
sure. Yeah,
Pokemon.
I guess I was thinking like Azumarill's fifty
Yeah, yeah,
percent day two usage, and like that's not great.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I think Altaria actually generally beats the Shadow Gyarados.
Yeah, but if you get hit by a crunch, it gets weird, right? 'Cause you're taking a lot of super hard. Like it's safe, right? It's not a hard answer.
Yeah,
Stone Collection
fair,
has hard
fair.
answers with the Zoomerl, with the Stunfisk,
Stunfisk,
but
yeah,
he didn't bring it to that, right? And that Stone Collection and Colin are the only two that had that kind of combination. Nighttime had the Zoomerl, but outside that, there's nothing else, right? Like the Bull Punch are resisted from the Scizor, and you outpace through their moves. You have like Corviknight's weird too because you resist attacks, right?
yeah,
Lapras kind of weird too, right? You need to throw Ice Beam. Yeah, you have the Zoomer, but like you could bring that into Nighttime at Elam's team, which is what DHC United did, I think, at certain
right.
points.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I was just
Cody's
trying to
team
see.
has the rollouts, Licky Licky. I will say that. That's probably like one of the most reliable answers that we saw in this tournament. But Licky Licky is not as bulky and greatly, and also like there were less Licky Licky in day 2 than day 1.
Yeah,
So
for
maybe that's why
sure.
like Gyarados looked particularly good for DHC on day 2. Wigglytuff's weird too. Like the charm damage doesn't do as much, and you get to 2 Aqua Tails pretty quickly, and that's like pretty much enough to take out the Wigglytuff. Um, on Dune's team, like again, like it's just if you look at it, there's not really a lot of hard answers. So
Okay, yeah, so I guess it's just like the safety. That's what I was trying to understand. If
yeah,
it is, was
yeah,
it more safety or more like positive matchups? But it seems like more
it's
the safety
safe.
side
Yeah.
because, like,
It's
yeah, it
safe,
doesn't
and with
seem
the
like
shorter timers, like DHC and HGMV played really well with just like weaving in and out of matchup. Like sometimes they'll throw moves, timers up, or if it's a lead matchup, they'll swap out because they get to the move before the other player does, other Pokemon does. They throw the move, and then if they shield it, don't shield. Either way, they swap out, so they don't have to spend the shield on Gyarados right then and there, and they can still save
right,
the two shields later for Gyarados or something else, right?
right. That's interesting. Yeah, and also like with the 9 turn pacing to Aqua Tail, like you can also like
So
throw a
fast,
couple Aqua
so
Tails to
fast.
like just burn the switch
Yep,
timer
yep,
too,
yep.
right?
There were definitely a
Um,
lot of moments where like just to resist the Aqua Tails was just adding up to a point where they had to shield, even though they knew it wasn't a crunch. They're like, I gotta shield this. So I don't know, man. That's a cool meta read, and I'm so glad it worked out. Like that's my favorite Pokemon. So if I knew
mm.
it's good, this good, man. I
So are
mean,
you
I
gonna
wouldn't be
start
playing
running
this.
some Shadow Gyarados?
I don't think so. I okay. I mean, obviously, like I would have to change my team up completely, right? But I think the problem is like if I run something like a Bastion, I can't be double weak to Unova Stunfisk, right? Like that's the biggest issue. If there wasn't Unova Stunfisk like as a Pokemon or in the meta, maybe, right? Because then
You just
like
gotta drop the Bastiodon. Be a Gyarados believer.
I was just determined to just win a tournament with a Bastion or just fail trying at this point. I just know my matchup so well and I know how to team build around it so well that like and once in a while Bastion's super free. I don't think this was a terrible tournament for Bastion. I think like no, I don't think he could have made it work, but I don't know. Maybe in a future
Yeah,
tournament.
I just don't know if it's a Bastion meta right now with how popular
Yeah, I
Empoleon
kind of miss
is.
my mark in Pittsburgh. If I played better, maybe that would have been it. But yeah, I don't even
Because
think
yeah, it's just
I don't
like
even think people talk about
Empoleon.
this.
Yeah,
But
I feel like Empoleon is just like sort of popping off right now.
yeah, yeah, I need to think it through a bit, but we'll see. Not about me though. About DHC, Kelsey, and all the other people that played really well this weekend. Congrats to them. And yeah, it's like I had a fun time. It was a fun one. So we'll see what the upcoming tournaments look like. And let's get into our YouTube comments to close it out. That nothing too much T topic related stuff like that. There were very minimal lag in the tournament, which was nice too, right? I think that's been kind of a trend since the start of this 2026 season, which is really good. I think like hardwire phones and maybe whatever Scopely did to the code like has cleaned up stuff, but there's very few disputes, which is quite nice.
I feel like the wired internet is probably making
Huge
a
help.
big impact
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. And I think like this is something that people don't even like, some people take for granted. Obviously, a lot of people called out like how great it is, but some people probably take this for granted because like it's been like it's like you don't even realize how much fewer disputes there are nowadays compared to like a tournament from a year ago, right? But it's been really good. All right.
Compared to LAIC last year.
Oh, yeah, LSC last year was so rough for me. I mean, I wouldn't say I would have gone that much further if I didn't lag out so many games, but that was a tough one. Yeah, but honestly, that wasn't even like a game thing. Like that was like a venue thing. Like the Wi-Fi would disappear off my phone. Like what? What is
Yeah.
that? That's
Well,
crazy.
again, like that, like
That's an
wired
infrastructure thing,
internet would
maybe
help with
within the
that.
venue. That's not even like a game issue or like
Oh yeah,
PCI issue, right?
right. But like again, wired internet would like help mitigate
Oh yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. Definitely, definitely. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, two short comments just because it's only been a couple days since we posted the last episode, but we'll probably have more for the next week. Angels Palace says when you do things right, people won't be sure you've done anything at all. What does that have reference to? I'm actually kind of blanking.
I have no
I think we
idea.
gave. Yeah, I might have missed that. I'm trying to think what we talked about, but we talked about Championship Series. I don't know, some in-game events. I'm actually not sure, but um, oh, we did have the Real Boom Community Day, which I didn't get anything good, but it's fine. And then
I honestly didn't even check my Grookey's because it's just not even good. I will say though, the drum beating ended up being better than everyone predicted.
oh, what is it?
It's 35 energy.
Hmm.
But like again, Rillaboom still has terrible fast moves, so still doesn't do
What is that a
anything.
clone of? Is there a clone of anything or that's
No,
similar?
I think it's like a
Let me see.
it's like
Okay, so it is. There's nothing actually that good. There's nothing else that's 35 to
it's
60.
okay,
Just for the
so
best move.
it's a clone of the old body slam with an
Oh, it's
attack
a clone of
drop.
Sacred Sword, but without the debuff chance.
Yeah.
It's a
Okay.
clone of Weather Ball. It's the same Weather Ball with the debuff
Yeah. So it's
tears.
a weather ball, but a guaranteed debuff.
Yeah, guaranteed debuff. Yeah. So I mean, it's pretty good, but again, pure grass.
It's good. It's good in a vacuum, but the problem is that Rillaboom has such bad fast moves that like it still doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Because even with a 35 energy move, it takes it like quite a while to get to it.
Bro, give it to Thwacky, man. That actually would be, not even just because I was talking about Thwacky last time, but actually I think that might make it relevant because it's bulkier, right? But it's hard to use on a Rillaboom, I feel like.
Yeah, but like, what's the like the even on a Thwacky, like the pacing would
I
be
don't know.
bad.
I don't still think it's great. Razor Leaf, yeah. Anyway, Debbie Pebble says, "Let
Yeah,
me
yeah.
know
With
the time."
Razor, hold
Huh?
on. With Razor Leaf, you're pacing 9998.
Yeah,
Like that's
that's too
so
long. That's too
bad.
long. Debbie Pebble
18
says,
turns.
"Yeah, I know it's sad." Anyway, Debbie Pebble says, "Let me know the time and date, and I can make it happen." What were we talking about again for this? It was something about her waking up early for something.
Oh, she has to like remind Steve to use his things every single week if he wins
Uses
the
what
Kaz's
thing?
corner. If he wins Kaz's corner,
Oh,
she has to like.
no, the call friend thing, whatever.
Oh, I thought you guys were saying that she has to remind him to do it or something.
No, I think it's like you have to like call up a friend or something.
Call.
Yeah,
Oh, right. But
yeah.
still, she'd have to be on call every single week until he used it.
Yeah, Debbie, be awake for this 2 hour frame from like 2 a.m. to like 4 a.m. every day, every week until it's
Until I use it,
yeah.
and I might not use it right
Honestly,
away.
for the amount of sleep she's probably going to lose, it's probably better just to fall asleep and just have your ringer on full volume for like the one time it happens. I don't think that end up being what we're doing for Cast Corner for the Roars. We're not fully locked in, I guess, but I think we pretty
Oh, I
much.
think we locked him
Yeah,
in.
yeah, yeah. But we'll probably next week will probably be when we do our Cast Corner finale. So if you don't know what we're talking about, listen to the last few episodes. But anyway, that's going to wrap it up for us. Congrats to DHC United for winning all of Toronto, and just kind of like being one of the newer faces in the scene and performed really well. He's from NorCal or like San Francisco area, I think. So it's really good because Worlds is in his backyard. So, maybe his friends, family, and whatever can attend us as well if they want to. Um, so yeah, we'll see how the upcoming tournaments shape out. If
Yeah,
Shadow
good luck
Gyarados
to
perform,
everyone competing this weekend
yep,
and all across the globe, including Kaz and Steve.
hmm that's right, that's right. I know a bunch of people going to Merida as well. To like Rise is going, and of course all our Latin players, right? And a lot of people going to Birmingham. So best of luck, and we will catch you all in the next one. Until then, peace out.
See ya.